Hello and welcome back to Samsara. Today, we have finally arrived at our final episode regarding the noble truths that everyone should know before they die. In our lives, have you ever wondered why suffering seems to occur over and over again? Some people feel as though they are walking on a path filled with endless misery. How can we find a way out of this endless cycle? Today, we will discover the answer from the teachings of the Buddha, who laid down a path for us to reach true peace from suffering. This path is not complicated, but it must begin with a correct understanding and following simple steps recommended by the Buddha. Let us find out what this path is and how it can transform our lives. Imagine this. If there were a guaranteed path that could definitively liberate us from suffering, whatever that suffering may be, whether it is about work, family, deep mental anguish, or even the fundamental suffering of birth, aging, sickness, and death, or any misery that arises and passes away. If you still have not found a way out, would you want to know what that path is? In reality, this path is not complicated at all. It has a very clear systematic structure. The Buddha called it the Noble Eightfold Path, which is the journey that leads us to the true cessation of suffering. This path is not just a teaching to be used only when suffering arises, but it is a lifelong practice to keep our lives balanced, stable, and peaceful in every situation. The Noble Eightfold Path, or the way leading to the cessation of suffering, consists of 8 components, which are categorized into 3 main areas of training: wisdom, virtue, and concentration. Let us begin with each component one by one. Explanation of the 8 components, foundational daily level. Right view, samadhi, which means understanding the reality of life, realizing that everything happens according to causes and conditions, and nothing occurs by pure coincidence. When we see this truth, we understand that we can cultivate and shift our thoughts without clinging to the mindsets that generate suffering. Right intention, sammasankappa, which is training our minds to think wholesomely, not getting caught up in greed, craving, or looking at others with envy. It is a practice of anchoring our minds in peaceful thoughts and letting go of attachment. Right speech, samavaka, which means controlling our words and refraining from speaking things that cause division or bring suffering to others. If we maintain wholesome speech, we will reduce conflicts and build better relationships with the people around us. Right action, sammakamanta, is acting righteously, engaging in good deeds without harming or taking advantage of anyone, making our lives trustworthy to others. When we stop harming both ourselves and others, it feels like lifting a heavy burden from our hearts piece by piece. Right livelihood, samma ajiva, which means earning a living in a way that does not cause suffering to others. It means abstaining from businesses involving harm, such as drug trafficking or human trafficking. Working this way grants us peace of mind as we navigate life, leading to the gradual release of suffering. Right effort, samavayama, which is the constant effort to abandon unwholesome states and cultivate goodness within our minds. It is training the heart not to drown in negative emotions and refusing to let temporary unwholesome thoughts harm our mental state. Right mindfulness, samasati, which is having awareness guiding our hearts in every action, whether walking, sitting, or doing any activity. Having mindfulness helps us perceive the triggers of suffering and prevents us from being overwhelmed by emotions. Right concentration, sammasamadhi, which is training the mind to be stable and unshakable by negative emotions or unwholesome thoughts. When the mind is firmly concentrated, profound peace arises, allowing us to see reality with absolute clarity. As we practice along this path, what we call suffering will gradually fade, and ultimately, we will experience a deep inner peace regardless of what life throws at us. This path is the way pointed out by the Buddha to lead us to the true cessation of suffering, a state of authentic joy entirely free from pain. However, the way I described earlier is merely applying the Noble Eightfold Path to let go of suffering in our daily routines at a foundational level. But if we wish to explain the Noble Eightfold Path deeply yet clearly, helping everyone realize its profound significance as the path leading to the absolute cessation of suffering, we must look much deeper. If we still walk through this world with a suffering heart, we will never reach the ultimate destination of true peace. Dive into the suttas and the ultimate goal of Nirvana. The Buddha pointed out the way out of suffering through this Noble Eightfold Path. This is the very practice that the Buddha stated, allows us to understand suffering deeply and discover how to completely let go of all misery in the end. Walking this path is not merely escaping from physical or mental pain, but it is refining our inner selves until we can let go of the very things that bind us to the cycle of samsara, allowing us to enter the peace known as nirvana. Let us see how each component of the Eightfold Path guides us toward ultimate liberation. If we look into the details according to the discourses, suttas, the Buddha described right view as the knowledge born from seeing the truth of the Four Noble Truths. Knowing suffering, understanding that suffering arises due to a cause, knowing the origin, samudaya, seeing that the root of suffering comes from craving and attachment, knowing the cessation, Nirodha, understanding that suffering can be extinguished, and knowing the path, magga, which is realizing that the Eightfold Path is the way to end suffering. This is the very first step that allows us to see the truth of life, that everything arises from causes and conditions, not by chance, and can be managed by transforming our perspectives and thoughts. Next is right intention. In the discourses, the Buddha spoke of intentions directed toward renunciation, freedom from sensual desires, non-ill will, freedom from anger, and non-harming. It is our deliberate choice to let go of defilements, anger, hatred, and any thoughts of harming others. This practice shifts our internal perspective, ensuring we do not constantly desire to possess things while maintaining kindness toward others. Anchoring our minds in a pure and neutral state helps our hearts stay peaceful and undisturbed by defilements. Next, regarding right speech, the Buddha spoke of abstaining from false speech, abstaining from malicious speech that causes division, abstaining from harsh language, and abstaining from idle chatter or gossip. These restrictions train us to control our speech, keeping it clean and pure. Speaking righteously ensures we do not create negative verbal karma or cause emotional distress to others through our words. Next is right action. The Buddha spoke of abstaining from taking life, abstaining from taking what is not given, and abstaining from sexual misconduct. These wholesome actions keep our lives clean and tranquil. They prevent us from harming others through actions driven by our own desires or anger. Next is right livelihood. Many people might still wonder what exactly constitutes a right livelihood. Right livelihood means working without taking advantage of or creating suffering for others. The Buddha advised noble disciples to abandon occupations that harm the mind or oppress others, such as slaughtering animals or prostitution. Any profession that forces us into unwholesome states is considered wrong livelihood, miccha ajiva. If our occupation does not require us to break the precepts or engage in unwholesome deeds, Only then is it considered right livelihood. Therefore, put simply, it means engaging in an honest profession that harms neither yourself nor others. Next is right effort. The Buddha taught us to cultivate effort to abandon unwholesome qualities and increase goodness. This effort operates in two ways. One is reducing, abandoning, and ending things that cloud the mind, unwholesome states, and the other is fostering wholesome qualities. An effort firmly established in this manner strengthens the heart and ensures we do not slide back into clinging to the causes of suffering. Next is right mindfulness. According to the discourses, mindfulness means contemplating the body in the body, contemplating feelings in feelings, contemplating the mind in the mind, and contemplating phenomena in phenomena, the four satipatthana. Training mindfulness this way helps us see things exactly as they are, without getting lost in craving or emotions. When we see things truly, suffering naturally diminishes. Finally, right concentration. The Buddha initiated this by training the mind to be tranquil, through letting go of sensual desires and unwholesome states. This firm concentration elevates the mind into the meditative absorptions, or jhanas, starting from the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, up to the fourth jhana. These four jhanas represent entries into deep tranquility that increase our joy and peace at every level. Attaining these jhanas renders the mind neutral and free from attachment, serving as a vital foundation for witnessing the Dhamma at a higher level until reaching Nirvana. In summary, walking this path is training ourselves to transform our minds, making them clean and free from suffering by shifting our perspectives, controlling our speech, refining our actions, maintaining steadfast effort, and practicing concentration. Practicing this path leads directly to Nirvana, a state of absolute peace and freedom from all suffering, which is the ultimate goal of Buddhism. Connecting the Noble Eightfold Path with modern science. Now, let us look at how the path leading to the cessation of suffering connects to modern science. We can start by understanding the nature of suffering as taught by the Buddha, and then link it to corresponding scientific principles. Let us look at the first aspect, the principle of cause and effect. The Buddha taught that suffering does not happen out of nowhere. It arises from a specific cause called samudaya, which is attachment, craving, and ignorance. This concept perfectly mirrors the law of cause and effect in science, which states that every phenomenon has a cause. If we can control or eliminate the cause, the resulting effect will change accordingly. Resolving suffering is like solving an equation. Start by finding the cause, and if you fix the root cause, the suffering will naturally end on its own. Furthermore, modern science, particularly psychology and neuroscience, confirms that practicing mindfulness and meditation helps us regulate our emotions and behaviors much better. Practicing right mindfulness and right concentration in the Eightfold Path is highly similar to training the part of the brain known as the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for emotional regulation and decision-making. Continuous meditation practice helps the brain reduce negative responsiveness, lower stress, and adapt better to external stimuli. This aligns perfectly with the Buddhist principle that when the mind is concentrated, mental suffering decreases because wandering thoughts and negative emotions gradually subside. Next, let us look at liberation from attachment. The Buddha taught that craving and attachment are the root causes of suffering, and to end suffering, we must let go of these things. Psychological theories like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, similarly focus on changing suffering-induced thoughts or emotional attachments. When a person can let go of attachment to things they cannot control, their perception of suffering decreases. This mirrors the Buddhist principle that suffering vanishes when we learn to view things as they truly are and refuse to cling to them. Now, looking at physics, according to the laws of physics and energy, matter and energy in the universe are constantly changing, and nothing lasts forever. This concept is incredibly close to the principle of anicca, or impermanence, in Buddhism, which explains that everything in this world arises, exists, and passes away. When we realize this impermanence, our attachment decreases, resulting in greater mental peace. This aligns with the scientific approach that views understanding and accepting change as the key to liberating oneself from anxiety and misery. If we look at quantum physics, there is a concept that everything in the universe is composed of energy particles that constantly appear and dissolve, possessing no permanent, independent identity. This beautifully mirrors the teaching of anatta, or non-self in Buddhism, which states that nothing in this world has a true, inherent self. Realizing the nature of emptiness and letting go of the ego leads to a reduction of pride, a decline in attachment, and ultimately guides us toward the cessation of suffering, or nirvana, because we are no longer bound by craving or desire. These connections serve as examples showing that Buddhist principles are deeply relevant and form the foundation of understandings found in modern science. Knowing and practicing the Eightfold Path is therefore not just a religious ritual, but a practical way to care for the mind, keeping it peaceful and alleviating stress in daily life. Practical integration guidelines for daily life. Now that we understand the importance of ending suffering and the Eightfold Path, the next step is integrating it into our daily lives to help our hearts find peace and suffer less. The recommended practice begins with right view, training ourselves to see the world as it truly is. We must try to understand that suffering is a natural part of life, not something caused by others or by ourselves. Some people might constantly blame themselves or others, thinking that every misery in life is caused by a specific person. In reality, suffering arises from the nature of the world and various causes and conditions. By avoiding overthinking, we can start letting go of unnecessary attachments. Next is right intention. Practicing right intention in daily life means reducing anger and attachment. Try to cultivate positive thoughts and maintain kindness toward others to dissolve anger and resentment. Wishing for the happiness of yourself and others is an excellent way to build healthy relationships and helps you feel physically and mentally light in your daily routine. Next, applying right speech to daily life simply requires us to speak constructively, not lying and not speaking to harm others, which naturally improves the relationships around us. Try to observe your words each day, noticing whether you choose terms that make others feel comfortable, thereby creating merit and peace for yourself. Put simply, shift toward constructive words rather than speech that oppresses anyone, whether it is others or yourself. Next, integrating right action into our daily routine means performing only good deeds, not hurting anyone and not taking advantage of others. Holding on to this principle ensures that the people around us love and respect us. Next is right livelihood, which means earning a living without dishonesty. Engaging in an honest profession keeps us comfortable and free from anxiety. Finding a job or running a business that does not oppress others is not only ethically correct, but it also helps us feel proud of what we do. Next is applying right effort to daily life, which means diligently reducing unwholesome states and increasing wholesome ones. This effort means trying to diminish bad thoughts or actions. For instance, when you feel angry or anxious, try to pause, contemplate, and pivot toward doing or thinking something good instead. perhaps starting by helping others or practicing mindfulness. Doing this persistently increases happiness within yourself and those around you. Next is practicing right mindfulness in daily life. Training mindfulness in your routine means staying aware of the present moment, such as while walking, eating, or working, always knowing exactly what you are doing. Practice observing your breath or your feelings in the moment. Mindfulness helps us handle various problems effectively, ensuring we are not overwhelmed by negative emotions. Lastly, right concentration. Training meditation for mental peace helps the mind stay calm and unshakable by external disturbances. Meditating for even a few minutes a day helps prepare us to handle stress and obstacles much better. Bringing the Eightfold Path into our daily lives teaches us to live in the present, reduces mental suffering, and allows us to view the world with a simple, peaceful perspective. Practicing this continuously guides our lives toward authentic happiness. The noble path for absolute liberation, seekers of Nirvana. Furthermore, for those aiming for Nirvana, the Eightfold Path is the definitive roadmap toward absolute liberation. This principle is not just a guide to making daily life more peaceful, but it is the total renunciation and letting go of everything that binds the mind and generates suffering. The Eightfold Path leads us to a profound liberation at every single step, starting with right view, or seeing the ultimate truth clearly. For a seeker of Nirvana, a deep understanding of suffering and the Four Noble Truths is the starting point. Seeing that everything is inherently unsatisfactory and lacks a true self, anatta, gradually releases the mind from clinging to me and mine, leading to a clear realization of emptiness and the impermanent nature of all things. Next is right intention, thoughts detached from defilements. Thoughts that possess no desire for what this world offers, seeking no personal gain, and harboring no anger or resentment, build a foundation for a light mind that cannot be swayed by painful emotions. Establishing a pure, compassionate intention that harms no one is the path that liberates us from clinging to emotions that cause pain. Next is right speech, words reflecting a pure mind. The words of a seeker of Nirvana do not serve defilements, not speaking to conquer, deceive, or mock. It is speech coming from a pure heart, intended to help, creating no further defilements, and serving to relinquish attachment to the self. Right action means refraining from all unwholesome deeds. The actions of one striving for Nirvana will avoid anything that clouds the mind, harming no living beings and creating no misery for others. Reaching the point of acting purely to dissolve the ego and completely refine away defilements. Next is right livelihood that creates no defilements. A seeker of Nirvana will carefully evaluate their profession to ensure it does not feed defilements, generate attachment to worldly wealth, or burden the mind with worldly affairs. Earning a living with high moral virtue purifies the mind. Next is right effort. For a seeker of Nirvana, this is a steadfast effort to eliminate defilements, striving to keep the mind thoroughly clean without letting any negativity take over. It is an effort free from delusion or clinging to results, aiming directly toward liberation. Next is right mindfulness, observing reality in every moment. Training. Right mindfulness deeply means being aware in every fraction of time, seeing mind and matter as they truly are, witnessing the suffering and the arising and passing away of various phenomena in life. Letting go of attachment to form, feeling, perception, mental fabrications, and consciousness allows the mind to untangle itself from delusion and develop into full awakening. Finally, right concentration, the focus that leads to perfect wisdom. Practicing meditation continuously and deeply makes the mind still and unshakable. Concentration free from defilements is the focus that births wisdom, leading to the realization of the ultimate truth that there is no self left to cling to. This concentration guides the mind completely into the noble path. Practicing the noble Eightfold path helps us break free from defilements, reduces our attachment to impermanent things, and develops the mind toward the ultimate realization that unlocks Nirvana, bringing an end to suffering, a release from attachment, and true, absolute freedom. Conclusion of Freedom and Podcast Outro. Ultimately, the journey toward liberation from suffering is not just practicing Dhamma to find temporary peace in daily life, but it is a clear journey toward the highest destination, which is Nirvana, a place that will never be obstructed by any suffering ever again. Just like a tree that has grown to the point where it can spread its branches peacefully and securely. In a life where we must face hardships, pain, and uncertainty, many times we must walk on a path where results are not immediately visible. Everything in life is impermanent, anicca. Nothing lasts forever, as even happiness and suffering change with time. But if we know how to let go and refuse to cling to anything, we will begin to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It is not just seeing the truth today, but understanding those things at the deepest level, at a level where the mind can never turn back to how it used to be. Every time we suffer, every time we face loss or disappointment, it is as if we are being challenged to let go of unnecessary things from our hearts, abandoning attachment to what we cannot control. When we do so, the mind becomes light, and when it is light, we can see the truth of this world much more clearly. Ultimately, every step of the practice will lead us to a point where the mind desires nothing anymore, just a state that is pure and free of worry. Do not fear if you experience hesitation, because this journey is not completed in a single day. But every single step taken with intention and resolve brings us closer and closer to the path of Nirvana. It is like traveling through a dense forest where we cannot see the destination immediately. But every step we make confirms that we are drawing closer to the light. Remember that every suffering in life holds value in waking us up. Do not worry about the long journey, because every step we walk brings us closer to our true nature. The liberation from suffering with no return. Every practice, every abandonment of defilement, opens the way for us to enter the highest realization. From now on, may every step of ours be filled with light, so that in the end, we may discover true liberation, which is not just pausing suffering for a moment, but letting go completely and permanently. This brings us to the conclusion of our journey through the Four Noble Truths, the sublime realities that everyone must know before they die. Ruthama Channel wishes to express rejoice in the merit, Anumodana, to everyone who is dedicated to studying the Dhamma for liberation or for extinguishing suffering in their daily lives. Today, Ruthama Channel must take its leave. See you again in the next video. Goodbye.